Hi everybody, welcome to Friday Happy Talk. So here we are, middle of January. So here we are, middle of January 2024, and to a certain degree the year is coming in really strong, really forceful, with a lot of power, a lot of energy going on. If you look at our individual lives, many people, including myself, were having a very strong, energetic movement at the moment, where a lot of the things we worked on in 2023 seem to be falling in place now. And it's lovely, right? It's a lovely experience to feel this soaring power of energy going on, where when we are able to step into the balance between your divine masculine and your divine feminine, stepping into the divine masculine, but the divine version of it, where it's like, it's power, it's strength, it's a framework, it's a beautiful moment of, oh, I feel safer, I feel a little more organized, I feel like I got some solid ground to stand on. See, that's what the divine masculine can do for the divine feminine. And the divine feminine then expresses creativity, create love. Power of the universe is being pushed through, coming through. And it's beautiful moment for us in spiritual alignment. Now, the dark side of this movement, the other side of it, is that if we look at the political scene in our world, we have rarely been in darker times. About 100 years ago it was darker. But we haven't seen this kind of dark times in a long time, where there is a push for war. There is a push for a very negative expression of our creative life force energy. And, you know, it doesn't really matter if you think that this war is a good solution or not, right? Because bottom line is, war is not a healthy, loving, spiritual, high vibration solution, no matter how we turn it around. No matter what argument you come with, well, no, but this country over there is doing this country over there is doing that. No, war is still not a good solution. It will not build any kind of good, positive outcomes. You cannot eradicate hate with hate, yes? Martin Luther King. Only love can conquer hate. Yes. So when we answer hate with hate, or even if it's in our own perception, right? Because most of this is propaganda anyway. Most of this is make-believe so that the whole world will fall into disarray and the war machinery can make more money. And we are all being more easily controlled when the looming fear of war comes around. So what I'm trying to share with you here is that we are already in it, and we're moving into dark times here. It's going to be some dark, hard times. But here's the positive side of it, if you can say that there is one. You, as a spiritual awakening being, you as becoming aware of your inner light being, you and I, this is the time for us to shine. This is the time when we are called to step into our leadership role. And it's the time when we need to step up to the plate and speak our truth about love. It's not so much that we have to step up on the rooftops. Maybe we do. Maybe it is that time. But it sure as hell is the time when we need to speak our truth. What you really believe in your heart. Not what the mind believes on a superficial ego level, but what the truth that comes through your heart, what that is. And as we can learn to recognize that, to be, oh my God, I can feel love coming through my heart. I can feel a presence of peace coming through my body. Then it's very easy, from that perspective, it's super easy to recognize that war is a terrible solution, right? It's easy to see that killing people in order for them to be quiet is a very unhealthy solution. So from a consciousness level, looking at our planet, as we move closer to, we're on the brink of a war, right? As we move closer to that space, it gets darker. But this is also the time when people like you and I can shine our light even brighter, right? Because in the dark, a light shines brighter. You can see it more clearly. So the few of us, or not the few, there's millions of us who are waking up, but the ones who are listening inwards, the ones who can choose to step away from the media fear-mongering and step into your inner sovereignty, step into your inner heart, step into your inner space. The more of us who can do that, first of all, we're going to bond together stronger, right? So you're watching these videos and you can feel a certain truth inside of you and you can go like, yeah, I feel that energy in my system. I feel that power in my sacral chakra, my root chakra, my heart chakra. When you feel that way, you and I bond together stronger. We bond together stronger, and we are thereby also stepping into this leadership role more. But we are also, as we are, bonding together, strengthening each other, we also end up strengthening our neighborhoods. Wherever you live, the people around you, when they think of you, when they feel into you and your energy, they feel better. And then the third part of that is that we also help the quantum field. We become tent poles in the quantum field to hold it up, to hold this buoyant energy field that surrounds our earth. As we raise our vibration, because we are part of, we're an intrinsic part of this field. When you raise your vibration, the field's vibration is raised as well, simultaneously. So while the times are getting darker and darker, we're moving towards a harder time. You and I are also being called to come back home into our hearts, into the center of our being, where when we grow our roots into Earth Mother, when we grow our power, we gain that strength from Earth Mother. And suddenly the native teachings, Native American, Native South American, Native African, Native, whatever Native you are looking at becomes much more truthful than before. Because of course, when we listen to Earth Mother, when we listen to the energy of the planet doesn't want war. Only deranged human minds want war, right? We're being delusional when we want war. We're being sucked into the propaganda. And unfortunately, there's a big movement towards that at the moment. So for you and I, coming back home, shining our light, both for ourselves and for each other, for others, these are the times. It's coming right now. It's time for us to step up to our plate. It's time for us to get going. And of course, we'll see what happens, right? But no matter what, if you think about the times about almost 100 years ago, when the war in Europe was raging, and you look at what the Nazis were doing, and many of us are looking back on those times, and many of us are saying, why didn't you say something to these the old people who were alive when I was younger? They were part of the war in one way or another, and we all wondered, why didn't they speak up against the Nazis? Why wasn't it more clear? But it wasn't more clear partly because a lot of people were on that side, partly because people wanted to make money, so they invested into it, and partly because people didn't know what to believe in. So now yours and my job is to come into our hearts, listen to what our hearts are saying. Listen to what is that echo that's coming through us? How does that vibrate through you and me? What's your truth? And of course, at least in my case, when the more meditations I've sat in, the more journeys I've done, the more experience with the multidimensional reality I've had, the deeper that sense of love becomes. The deeper that sense of, love is what life force energy is, and it's what's working through our hearts. And of course, that's the solution to support life on our planet. Both the process of life itself, but also Earth Mother herself. Yes? So we recognize that the darkness of the propaganda and of warmongering is basically what some people would refer to as part of the Antichrist, right? Which you can call it whatever you want. You can use whatever words you want, but it's fairly evil, right? Or very evil. It's as evil as it gets on our planet, as what we know of. Now, of course, here's another part of this. We can see how the times right now are actually very dark. Maybe if we look at Instagram all day long, we're like, oh no, it's not. Look, there's sunshine. People are still taking vacations. Yeah, but the movement we're in is going towards some pretty harsh times. And if we start to see an elongated version of this future, if we can envision that in 100 years from now, in 200, 300, 400 years from now, when our world has shifted into a new level of consciousness, when the kids that are born with such much higher level of awareness that they may not even be using words anymore, that when you look at our times, and we see the technological advances that we've made, but we also see how we were not ready for this. Emotionally, spiritually speaking, we're not mature. We're like little children, right? And I'm not saying you and I'm saying we as a group, as a whole. So on that level, right, in a few hundred years, most likely we have matured enough. Once that 100th monkey theory, once that last person has learned that spiritual solutions are the real solutions, that what they call politics is really negative, right? I'd love to coin that term, humanics, politics, but with humanity in the center, right? Because humanics would be, we lead with our hearts. We come from heart, we come from Earth Mother, we come from this energy of love. So from that perspective, we know that we're living in a very low vibrational time where we're very unintelligent in our solutions right now. If you think about how many inventions there are on our planet, right? Like every week or every other week, you'll see, oh, now they have solved this problem. Now they've solved propulsion problem. Now they claim we can drive cars on water and on solar and on whatever else, right? We have heating systems that could be really good for the environment and for ourselves. We have so many solutions. But because of the financial system in place that doesn't want to lose power, we are not implementing all these solutions. Because if we did implement all the solutions at once, we'd have a completely sustainable society. But we don't, because the financial resources are still running the show. So what I want to share is that in a few hundred years, we will have reached a new level of maturity. We will look back on these times and we will say, oh my God, those were some dark times. And they're going to say, my God, thank you for those light bearers. Thank you for the people who shone their light, who were able to shine their heart light. Because we led the way. We were the ones speaking our truth. And as that became more acceptable and more accepted, that started spreading. And that slowly then made its way into people's consciousness. And over time, maybe over 50 years, that's going to be the new norm. So in another 50 years, the new norm is going to be very high vibrational intelligence and awareness. So we're heading in that direction. But in these dark times, people like you and I, we need to come into our light, sit in our inner light, in our stability, because we grow, right? And as you and I grow, other people grow around us. We lend them our courage. We lend them the love in our hearts. It's contagious, right? Just like when two logs, you have one log that's burning faintly and one that's burning brightly. If you put them together, the bright burning log will not burn less bright. But the faint burning log will burn a lot hotter and brighter. And then you take them apart, now both are burning bright. And that way you don't lose that fire, right? And energy works the same way. Our fire, our internal fire works the same way. So, even though we're moving into harder times, we can also step into our inner sovereign light being, yes? And we are on the verge of becoming aware of so much more, alien intelligence and all of that stuff. A lot of that is going to come through within a fairly short amount of time. But more of that in another video. So I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for this. Happy Friday. And I'll be back live on Monday. And there's another video coming out after that. And then we'll be back here on Friday again. Hope you're doing well. Click like and subscribe if this spoke to you. And I wish you a wonderful, lovely, amazing weekend. We'll talk soon. Namaste and aho.